All right, Red Black Titan Kroxa, fastly becoming my favorite card out of Theros. Maybe slowly. Theros has been out a while. I like this card a lot. We've played it in Pioneer. We've played it a bunch in Standard. We're gonna play it more in Standard later today. In fact, this is a historic build. So a couple of things we've gained from historic here in this, notably Dragonskull Summit in the mana. We've got 4 copies of Angrath, the Flame Chained here in the main deck, which 4 copies of this card is aggressive. I don't know that 4 copies of this 5-drop is ideal, but we're gonna start there and we'll give some thoughts on it after the game. We've got 4 copies of Stitcher Supplier here, which I've really never played this card on Arena and been happy with the 1/1. So I'm interested to see if this gives us enough fuel. Like, I suppose this does basically cast Kroxa if it finds it, right? It mills 6, so it can mill this and then give you enough to escape it as well. So let's go ahead and pop on into a historic event with this one here and see how it goes. Sure, sounds great. Needs to draw a couple of lands, but very good otherwise. Can you explain, instead of just using awkward jargon, Panza, can you be descriptive? I think our curve actually looks super reasonable. We have 8 1-drops, and then a similar number of 2s and 3s, and then 4 cards at the very top end of our curve. Can you explain why you feel it's awkward? Be helpful, not hateful. Very skillfully milled 2 non-lands here. So let's draw a 3rd land next turn, hopefully. Needs more tempo. Yeah, exactly. Opponent's feeling a little sultai, it would appear. Yikes. Actually, the curve is one of the things I think looks really good about this deck, so I'm curious as to feedback. Sure, but that has nothing to do with the curve, Panza, which is again why I think it's important to like engage and dig into the specifics as opposed to just using shitty buzzwords. Like, what you described there is you don't think our deck's powerful enough. That has nothing to do with the curve. You're saying our deck is neither aggressive enough or controlling enough, which could be correct. One of the things this build has done, which I didn't do in past builds, is this build is notably not playing Agonizing Remorse in the main deck. And Agonizing Remorse tends to be a very useful piece of interaction, which can help slow down other decks that are going to be faster than us. What if they're playing like a fair Reclamation deck? They only have 1 blue source. What if they're playing like Frilled Mystics and just missing colors? They have Uro, so I suppose they could be a combo Reclamation deck still, but we'll see as we see more cards out of them. So I don't really know what they're doing. I'm gonna board an Agonizing Remorse. I'm gonna trim Murderous Rider. This card's really funny against Uro, by the way. That seems great. I'm gonna board in a couple of Ashioks and trim a couple of Mire Tritons. Their deck doesn't seem to be super aggressive, and this is only really good against aggro. And this serves a similar role to filling up our graveyard while also acting as a tool to keep their Uros out of play, which is nice. Man, both Star City and Channel Fireball saying all their large Magic tournaments are proceeding as scheduled at the moment seems wild to me. I don't know. I'm probably just more conservative with most when it comes to, like, I guess it's expensive for those companies to cancel events like that, but I don't know. It just seems irresponsible. Regionals just happened this past weekend too, right? Magic players are known to be clean. Yeah, like, Magic tournaments are like hotbeds for germs and disgusting. Like, when there's not a potential public health epidemic going on. Okay, so they are just a fair reclamation deck. I think I'm just gonna take their Uro here and exiles it. And hopefully they could just stumble on lands potentially here. WotC has canceled events in Europe where they're taking things more seriously. But Donald Trump in the United States is currently doing everything within his power to downplay what's going on here. Because he's worried about more fallout from the stock market. Yeah, I agree. I expect state governments to start stepping up. Yes, this is our first match with this deck. Game 2, we're up a game. Even in a normal year, there's a ton of there is Con Crud and Pax Pox. Yep. Thanks for the 5 months, Marky. Welcome back. Okay. Yeah, Tron, the markets are still falling regardless, but Trump thinks by concealing information and not being transparent that they could potentially fall less. Dow dropped 1,800 this morning. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if there's any fallout from the fact that the LA Marathon happened this past weekend. It's very possible, because I knew they had this Frilled Mystic, that maybe I should have just activated Ebon Legion there. I don't know. Getting Kroxa into the bin has value, because just escaping this next turn is good. Ooh, I wonder if they're playing something similar. There's a Sultai Vivian's Arcbow Gitrog deck in the deck queue. I don't remember if it has Reclamation in it or not, though. You lost 20K in a month? All I'm gonna say is my decision to spend more money paying off my mortgage sooner rather than listening to my investments guy encouraging me to put more money in is feeling pretty good right now. We don't have that much tied up outside of Christie's 401k. I feel pretty fortunate that that's the case at the moment. So let's escape this. Does 401k stuff exist for self-employed? Yeah, it technically does. You can incorporate and, like, set it up yourself. Yeah, kind of, Gengar. Because, like, you don't know where the bottom is. Like, you could put money in at this point and it could still drop further. Red Locks, thanks for the tip. Like, it's all a gamble, right? At some point, if you have liquid money, buying in makes sense, but who knows where that point is. It could still go lower. Okay, so I think I just attack with everything here, right? So I can double pump these knights. Hey, Red Locks, I'll get that deck added after the stream's done today. Historic is supposed to be part of the announcements today, I believe. Yeah, seems good. So they announced last week that there would be a banned and restricted update this week, which those happen on Monday. I think this is supposed to be a morning update like we had in the past, but we don't actually know. This is their first update post scheduled. It's weird. This is new. It could happen this afternoon. It could also happen this morning. Percy, thanks for the 23 months. Nearly 2 years, and I tried standard the other day because I was enjoying Black Voice Aristocrats. And I'll say this, I'm off standard till Teferi rotates. See, I don't know. Maybe it's just not as present in non-rotating formats, but like, it's weird to me to hear people say things like that when they like love playing formats where Teferi's always going to be legal, if that makes sense. One drop here is actually a great draw. Teferi is easier to deal with than non-rotating formats. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's definitely subjective, so feel free. Angrath looking pretty good here. Welcome back, Hider, by the way. This is 1000% a cleave, right? I just do nothing, they cleave, I don't die, I Angrath kill them. Sweet. You can get a sword too, Hider. No! They banned... Alright, hold on. Hold on, we have to... Hey, chat! Remember when I said if they made changes in Pioneer today, it didn't make sense? Remember when I said if you didn't like the combo fest Pioneer has become, you should bail out of the format and it's not the format for you? This Hoagland guy might know what he's talking about. There might be something to what this Jeff Hogland thinks about this Magic the Gathering game. He might have his finger on the pulse of what's going on and know what's up. They banned once in Modern. That's interesting. I guess Fox is going to have to submit a different Legacy deck because they banned Breach. Super excited to see Field become unsuspended. Really, really glad I decided to start taking Modern and Legacy decks again, though, because Pioneer's going to remain kind of a stain. Yarak Field's back, though, baby. It's back, and it's better than ever. Are you excited, chat? I'm excited. Alright, so what am I doing here? Lava Coil sounds great. I think I'm supposed to trim Stitcher Supplier, which is a pretty low quality card overall. Is it crazy to pull back on Phoenix of the Ash and put in a couple of sweepers here? Uro's definitely playable. So there's a Yarak Field submission in the deck queue that we'll get to on Thursday probably. Yeah, we have Yarak Field in the queue already. We were expecting Field of the Dead to be unbanned. I need to think about what I want to make my responses to the ban submission. Sorry, yeah, I was tweeting about Pioneer in the ban list. I don't know. I need to think about and come up with a concise response. I feel like I'm not supposed to play Mire Triton here because this feels like they have a stomp, and I'd rather not give them a chance to stomp. Thanks for the tip, Dr. Mr. Punny. Maybe we get to Yarak Field a little sooner. Thank you for the support. I'm not sure, actually, does the article say what day they take effect on Magic Arena? Yeah, they don't take effect on Magic Arena till the 12th. So we will definitely be playing Yarak Field on the 12th. Ooh, that's a really good draw. Yeah, I'm aware. Thursday is the patch. Yay, Yarak Field. I think I just land pass here since I drew the ritual. Yeah, like they discarded a stomp and they played a stomp. So pretty good read there. Yarak Field all day? No, not all day. There's a lot of people that want to see a lot of different things. I don't care, Mr. Bips. In my opinion, win rate should not be the only thing that matters. And I know I'm alone in that. I know I'm... Oh, you know what? This was wrong. I should have played Mire Triton first. When this hits a creature that I could have exiled, I missed this here. Yeah, totally could have exiled the second Kroxa there. Yeah, I just, The fact that they didn't unban anything in Pioneer today is incredibly disappointing. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to lead on Supplier there. It probably doesn't really matter. Yeah, what you need to understand, I think this is something a lot of people don't get, and this is something that I've talked about a lot. The current state of Pioneer and the types of decks that are currently good in Pioneer with the addition of Theros, those are not bugs. Those are a feature. And I know this is a really tough pill to swallow, and I spent a lot of time because I didn't want to hear it or say it or admit it to myself. If you don't like the current combo decks that are rampant in Pioneer, Pioneer's just not the format intended for you as a player. And I know that sucks to hear, because myself included, I really wanted a format where mono red mid-range was the top deck in the format. I really wanted that, but that's not what they want. That's not what R&D wants for their non-rotating formats, it doesn't seem. It is what it is. I know it feels bad. I know it's not what people at home really want to hear, but it's the reality of the situation in which we are living. I think I'm okay spending my turn eating their thing here. Takes away 2 devotion for this. Hey, I mean, yeah, look at this. Guess what, chat? If you don't like Pioneer, Historic's looking exciting, and you get to play Historic on Magic Arena. It's gonna be great. You can play Golos in Historic. You can play Scapeshift in Historic. There's lots of great Historic things to do. I'm kind of in for these, actually. I do too. I really like the fact that they gave Historic Field of the Dead back. Yeah, me too, Percy. Teferi's a lot less offensive when you get to kill him with Field of the Dead. I think that's a little tinfoil hatty, Demir Spy. I think a lot of people here are greatly underestimating how many people enjoy playing formats like Pioneer. Would be my take. I think people in this stream are projecting what they want a format to be onto everybody else. They should put Maze's End into Historic. They totally should. Big agree. Cryogenic, thank you for the 3/4 of year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Should I keep putting money into MTGO for Pioneer or get out completely? If you like the current Pioneer format, you can and should keep playing Pioneer on Magic Online. If you do not like Pioneer in its current state, what you should not do is keep playing it expecting it to change. That's the thing you shouldn't do. In all honesty, there's still fine decks to play in Pioneer that can be fun. And if you like the current decks that are in Pioneer, you should play it and you should enjoy the format. But if you don't enjoy it, what you shouldn't do is continue to play it in spite of what it currently is. In my opinion, the fact, well, that's great. In my opinion, the fact that they unsuspended Field of Dead in Historic, and this could just be the fact that I haven't had all the optimism beaten out of me yet, so bear with me. But in my opinion, the fact that they unsuspended Field of the Dead in Historic shows a potential willingness to manage Historic differently than we've seen other formats managed in the past. And again, that could just be me being overly optimistic, but in other Magic formats, historically speaking, they are always much, much slower to unban things. And it looks like they are using the suspend list in Historic in a very good way. In my opinion, the fact that they unsuspended something instead of just sending all of them to the Shadow Realm is really good. No, they actually said in the State of the Game update that they were working with R&D as far as historic updates go. God, gosh, getting Kroxa here off of this is so good. Because I get to do this now. Before they can exile it. Clothis is a very reasonable Magic the Gathering card. Foglandia! Thank you for the 19-month cyanide. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Any thoughts on taking creatures to escape? No, because I have Calls the Dead in my hand here, so I want to leave creatures in my bin so Calls the Dead can make more zombies later. You can always come into my chat and type !banned after a ban list update to get my thoughts and feelings on what that ban list update was. Those commands even work when I'm offline for reference too. So if you ever, like, miss my stream the day of and you want my thoughts on it. I think Agent of Treachery is, I feel like complaining about Agent of Treachery is pretty off base in the current standard format. There's just so many different good things going on. Hey, Demox. Thank you for the 2 entire years support. Welcome back. I mean, you can play Historic in paper. Your local game store can sanction any format you want them to sanction. If you and other people want to show up to your local game store and play Historic at F&M, tell your LGS manager. If you have half a dozen or a dozen people or whatever that want to play a format, I'm sure they would love to let you play that format in their shop. I'm just boarding like we board against the last Girl deck. Just Coils and Soot in. Citrus Supply and a couple of Phoenix out. My old LGS sanctions Historics. Everybody's currently out of Pioneer. Sure, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, Field of the Dead's legal in Historic again. Super, super excited about the Historic changes. Yeah. is like the low end of keepable, I think. I wouldn't fault someone for throwing this back. It's a good pickup. When was the last time I played an F&M? Probably 2+ years ago at this point. Yeah, someone added Yarak Field back to the deck queue optimistically last week, and we're gonna play it on Thursday. Thursday is gonna be an all historic day on Stream Chat. As always, you can find my schedule on my website here. Keep that regularly updated in case there's any changes, so you never have to wonder, hey, what's Jeff doing when? I also try and put the formats up there. Any random sponsored streams tend to go up there as soon as I know about them as well. I'd rather just play a 4-3 here. What happens to the points that are assigned to a deck that gets banned? I'm curious about Legacy Breach of the queue. The person that added the deck gets to, in the event the deck is rendered unplayable by a banning, the person who added the deck can change it to something else. In the event that a banning makes a deck weaker, I'll let it just stay in there and we'll make updates. But like the Breach deck, for instance, it's in the Legacy queue. That'll probably just get swapped out for a regular Storm deck. I think I'm fine with this trade here. Another giant in my hand. I'm confused about your question, Naya. That's actually really good here, huh? I guess I have this plus this, huh? So it's not that good. I take it back. Grab an extra black source here. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. So that way they can't like Collision Colossus it or Colossus it in response, so I can't kill it. Yeah, the land was a good pickup. I mean, Once Upon a Time is a deeply offensive Magic the Gathering card that should just be shift deleted in general. Once Upon a Time is like Gitaxian Probe level offensive in my opinion. It's a card that we should forget about. It's a card that when I look at Once Upon a Time, it really makes me wonder what's going on at R&D. Who approved this one? I guess if they have Colossus, they still kill both my things here. Sure, but like comparing something and looking at a card and going like it's not as bad as Mental Misstep is like that bar is like so low. Come on now. If the only thing you can say about a card is it's not as bad as Mental Misstep, just hit the pause button for a moment, okay? Alright, this game's super over, huh? No fire, no steel. The old concession, Angrath chat. You love to see it. You love to see it. Moving on up the constructed event. We are 3-0 in 35 minutes. Do. So to rejoin the Discord server in case you lose it, Chromatics, you have to open Discord on your desktop computer and open the Connections tab. And then you'll see the server there with the join button for any servers for any people you're subscribed to on Twitch. Yeah, this is fine. Fetch a Swamp tapped on one. Have all of our colors, have this into this. Triton's very reasonable against red aggro. Boxy, thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep, my ban command links to a Twitter thread. I was just adding another comment on there. So as I have more thoughts on the ban restricted update, I'm gonna add them to that Twitter thread. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Woof. Are we dead? Feels dead. When we get Cube on Magic Arena, I see there's some people in chat talking about that. I will definitely have a donation amount for Cube. It's definitely going to be cheaper than the Magic Online Cube. I'm probably going to do at least one and get a beat for what the numbers look like. Might start at like 25 maybe and see how many people want to see them done and then what the viewer count's like for them. Yeah, I'm not sure. Ritual of Soot might be okay here. It probably is because of Frostodon. Yeah, Cube Sealed sounds fine. Murderous Rider is absurd here. Don't cut this card in this matchup. Not only do you need to kill things like Frostodon, but 2-3 with lifelink is stellar. Hand's fine. Doesn't have a second red for this yet, but has 3 other good castable spells. Speaking as someone who has an incredible amount of experience streaming here on Twitch, if I put exclamation point bans as the very first thing in my stream title, people would still come in here and ask, so I'm just not going to clutter the title and we can just type exclamation point bans for people when they come in. Eventually, we'll train people to know that there's a command for everything, but it's slow going because, like, most other channels on Twitch don't have commands. How would I port this deck to Pioneer? You can go on my YouTube channel right now and see us play Red-Black Pyromancer Titan in Pioneer last week. Deck was really sweet. Would definitely be something I'd be willing to play again on stream. The arena ban list update isn't until Thursday because there's more coming in that patch other than just ban updates. That Talarian's great. Do I want to attack them with this? I have 2 blockers. I think I want to hold this back on defense. Like, we probably win if this game goes long. So they're out of cards in their hand, and I have like infinite cards to escape this back over and over again. The classic defense Phoenix here. The only thing that really punishes me for playing a little bit defensively here is if they... That attack is weird. Is if they like go land Frenzy. Like, this exchange is great for me, right? Like, there's 8 cards in my bin. The cat came back. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna, with another Lava Coil in my hand, I'm gonna coil this and play a 2/3 lifelinker, and then we'll just start attacking for 5 next turn. Sounds great. Hey Jeff, excited for Banner Restricted today, but I wish that they had put the update already happened, Andy. You can find my take on Twitter here. Happy Monday. Thanks for keeping me around. Phoenix closes out pretty quickly. Hey, Turnpike Bear, if you're someone who liked Mardu Pyro in Modern, you should check out the Black-Red Pyromancer Titan deck that we played in Pioneer last week. I agree, Jace. I also think, like, in my opinion, if they think the current set of bans if they think nothing needs to be banned in Pioneer currently, I think they should have explored unbanning things. Yeah, that would be my wish. If they didn't feel like banning things was necessary, they should have given me back. They should have given me back, what's it called? I want Felidar Guardian back. Why is Smuggler's Copter banned? You know what? You know what the most offensive thing about Astrolab is? This is really Astrolab's offensive in Modern from the perspective of you have to play snow basics in every deck if you want to be strategically optimal. And it's just so depressing because, like, one of the sweetest things about playing Magic is customizing things like your basic lands. That's awesome, Dan. And I would expect to see schools, I don't even know if they'll do that in the United States. Like, so one of the things about Japan is their population density is a lot higher than most places in the US. But I would hope that at a bare minimum, population dense cities in the US consider closing their schools soon. Before things get bad. Because things are almost assuredly going to get bad before they get better. With regards to COVID. Maybe I'm supposed to mulligan this. Kroxa's like not really that good in this matchup. Bruce Thrills, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Portland schools have no plan to close right now because kids would not be guaranteed to stay home. Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's sick, but it's fair. Most of the private schools in your area are closed until mid-April. That's smart. Do I just do this? I think I'm just gonna Kroxa this turn, and then next turn I'll do this. So you're not gonna fully contain it, Ketchup Fights. That's impossible. The purpose of closing things is supposed to be to contain some of it and slow it down, because if it becomes a widespread epidemic because everybody's still traveling and everybody's still doing everything they normally do, the hospital systems and healthcare systems in the United States are going to be sorely underprepared to contain it and experience what's going to go on around it. Like they're not ready for the volume of people that they will intake. I mean, I don't think people are doomsaying Pioneer any more than it's unreasonable, Blender Bottle. I think there are a lot of people who don't like Pioneer for what it is right now, and I think those people are smart and correct to bail out. So they did one to me. Maybe that was a misclick. That must have been a misclick, right? I have a 6/6 now, and they're losing one of their 2 remaining cards in their hands. This game seems pretty done. Kroxa closes the game out very quickly too once we're ready to pivot. Oh, they needed to enable Spectacle. That makes sense. Needing to enable Spectacle makes sense. I didn't think about that. In Historic, what's the difference between banned and suspended? Suspended means it's more likely to come off. So if they're suspended, they're still not legal for play, but they could become legal. They're more likely to become legal. Land Frenzy is the one way they could still win this game. So let's see how good their Frenzy is, huh? Well, that wasn't a particularly good Frenzy turn for them. This is a Lightning Bolt. We'll keep the Kroxa already in play. Knight gets a counter. Scale of 1 to dead, what are we working with here? I think they could have experimented with making Oko legal. I'm also not going to cry any tears that he's not legal. I agree, Napier. They gave me the toy I really wanted. Oko's whatever. Viking, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I agree, Blender Bottle. At a minimum, I think if they didn't feel like they should ban anything in Pioneer, they should have unbanned some stuff. Smuggler's Copter and Felidar Guardian at a minimum. Maybe even more than that. Today on Our President is Dangerous and Unstable and Unfit for Office. These things came 6 minutes apart. Health Secretary on Fox News. This is a very serious problem. No one is trying to minimize that. Donald Trump on Twitter talking about how the flu kills more people and nothing is shut down and the economy goes on. Think about that. Really? Really? Nobody's downplaying that? Really? Weird. Or what are the odds the Health Secretary gets chastised for sending a message that disagrees with Glorious Leader? High? I feel like there's a high probability he gets chastised. Hey, Jim. Thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream this morning. Happy Monday. He's gonna get fired? Yeah, probably. All right, third time's the charm. Got another mono red deck here. See if we can beat him up yet again. If we run off a couple of lands here, like a red source would be really good, huh? And get Kroxa down nice and quick. If they have a Goblin Chain Whirler here, we're going to be in trouble. No Whirly Boy is good. Hey, Genesis Protect. Thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. If their last card is a Frenzy, we could be in trouble, because they have a land here exiled to light up the stage. Milling red sources feels bad. Hopefully we run off a couple of lands here. Russian Spoon, thanks for the 7 months. I am super excited, Ironclad. Super de-duper excited. Easy block here. You can, Jack. Thanks for the support. Perfect. This is my 6/6. My 6/6 is amazing. Got a Phoenix in here too to bring back next turn. Yeah, I agree, Steamy. This deck has good tools for beating aggro. Our curve's pretty low to the ground. And then we also like have quick closing power once we're ready to pivot. Okay, so here, I'm going to go on a rant, because rants are great. So, what Trump and others are doing by saying the flu kills more people is classic whataboutism, distraction, nonsense bullshit. It's the same thing you hear in relation to gun violence. Whenever there's a mass shooting, you hear people say, well, mass shootings aren't a large percentage of the total death, so it's not a big deal. What about these other things? Well, the deal about those other things is that the flu, we have vaccines for. All these other things that they're talking about, more people die in car accidents? Yeah, that's why we have fucking seatbelt laws. So to say it's not a big deal because it does less than these other things that we have lots of things in place to prevent, that's the key flipping difference that these bad faith actors never acknowledge. We're not saying that saying that COVID-19 is a big deal is not in and of itself saying that these other things don't matter. We're just saying that those other things, we already do a ton of things to prevent and mitigate. And this other thing that we're currently doing very little to prevent and mitigate is a big deal. So to say, well, these other things are more deadly shows either one, a fundamental misunderstanding about how we address those other things, or two, shows an intentional bad faith, bad intentioned reaction to distract from something that needs addressing. And that doesn't even begin to dig into the fact that we don't really know everything there is to know surrounding this new thing. So yeah, I'm not saying that you should never leave your house. I'm not saying that like you should be panicking in the streets, but what I am saying is that anybody making a comparison to the flu or any other type of sickness or death within regards to this is either stupid or coming from a place of bad faith if they actually understand what's going on. Donald Trump has a vested interest in downplaying this because the market's panicking and doing worse looks bad on him. As with everything in life, Donald Trump is looking out for Donald Trump. He's not looking out for actual people. All right. End rant. Gonna keep this. I think I'm bottoming the Phoenix here, and I'd rather keep triple black 1-drop so I can go 1-drop into 1-drop here, and then hope to just draw some lands to escape the Kroxa down the line. Logan Stucky, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate the support. Welcome to Hooglandia. Is there a continue rant donation out there? Is not. To be fair, Jack, most pro-Trumpers don't end up in this chat long enough to subscribe. Thanks for the tier 2 order. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So, am I supposed to go double 1-drop here? I think I'm just supposed to hip check the Steam Kid. Thanks for the 16 months. Hive Mind, I appreciate the Bezo bucks. Welcome back. I think I'd rather double 1-drop than play Mire Triton here. I think at this point, I'd rather just get a card out of their hand than play Mire Triton to the board. Really need to hit, if we hit a land next turn, we should be in a very good spot because these Calls the Dead are going to gain us a ton of life because these are zombies. But if we miss on a land again next turn, we're going to be in trouble. Hey, thanks for the 14 months, Wysick. I'm excited to play more Historic too. At a minimum, we're going to be doing one Historic deck every day on this stream moving forward. And if the Historic numbers are good in a post in a post-new set drop world, we're gonna do 2 historic decks today for a little while, I think. Maybe we'll rotate 2 historic decks, 2 standard decks for a while. It's probably a good plan. All right. This gains us life in 2 turns, and this can gain us life next turn to bridge the gap here. So if we don't take 6 here, we should be pretty close to a lock, I think. He says before he takes 6 damage. Yarok Field is back on the menu. Okay, so gotta fade a 3-pointer here. If we fade a 3-pointer, we get to gain 3 next turn and then have really quick closing power. I should just deal 3 to them here. Actually, I should just pump this, right? And then smack them. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna hold this back just in case. Oh, they don't have any 4-power haste things, right? Yeah, let's just hit them for max. Hey, thanks for the half year, Jethrin. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I mean, the banner restricted update is only... The banner restricted update's only bad for Pioneer if you don't like Pioneer for what it is right now. All right, in just over an hour, we went 5-0. Building up them sick gold stores. 2,100 gold and 40 gems. Don't mind if it does. I don't know. I mean, like, we won all our matches. Obviously deck's perfect. Oh, that's the standard build we're gonna play later. Angrath was fine at the points when we drew him today. I think 4 is probably too many. I think my one big takeaway from playing this deck today, though, was that I was honestly kind of pleased with Stitcher's Supplier. So, like, this was like every other time I played this card on Arena in, like, standard decks, it's been underwhelming. And I think it was pretty fine here. Yeah, the fact that, like, this card often reads draw Kroxa or, like, draw 2 Phoenixes seems fine, right? Seems very, very... Should I clip and upload the whataboutism rant? I probably should. It was like about 55 minutes. I'll clip it. We'll upload that one on its own. All right, what are we doing? We are going to roll on into some standard up next here today. We've got some green-red aggro to kick things off. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get everything flipped over and get my client restarted here. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with some green-red aggro in standard. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.